Hey everyone. So I'm back to being able to make videos again. I think I'm going to try to do three today. The first that I want to do is a June wrap up. Um, but first, I thought I'd address kind of like a life thing, which is you guys know that I think I've been talking about the fact that my mom and I are renovating the house. And earlier today, I was having a discussion with two other YouTube friends um, about, like, they were asking questions about, like, kind of how that process is going and everything. And I didn't end up having time to answer when we were having this discussion because by the time I'm such a slow typer that by the time I finished typing my answer, the group had already moved on to a different topic, and I was like, I don't want to just like slide this in here now that we've moved on from this subject. So anyway, I'm pretty sure both of these YouTube friends watch my videos, so I thought it'd be interesting to kind of address it. And also, I didn't know if anybody else was interested. Um, but yeah, so um, basically, I think the discussion was like, do I feel kind of like I'm being displaced or whatever, or do I feel out of place for the fact that we've had to kind of temporarily move out? And well, just to give you guys like kind of an update from what has happened to what's currently happening is before, I think the last video I made, you guys saw that I was still in the middle of packing and everything. Um, and that was getting ready to be over, which was great. And now that's over, and we're out, and it's weird. Like, it's great that the physical part of everything is over. Like, I'm not doing any more organizing or packing, which is great. But it's still a little bit emotionally stressful, mostly now on my mother, unfortunately, because now that we're finished with all the physical stuff, it's now kind of all her stuff where it's like, like, I mean, we still have a bunch of physical stuff that's happening, but that's all the stuff the workers are doing. But for my mom, it's now like, okay, do you like this paint color? Do you like this flooring? Are things going in correctly? Is anything going wrong? We've had a couple things go wrong. I don't really want to go into it because it's just a lot of detail. But, we've just had like uh, just things where you're like, why is this happening in the middle of renovation? The two biggest things have been the dryer broke, which joy. That was one of the things we weren't going to have to fix or replace, and now we are. And then I think we ended up having termites, which is, but at least it happened when we already had to do all this work anyway. Like, at least it wasn't when everything was like brand new, or it was in the middle of, we we weren't even planning to do renovations, something like that. Um, so that's been very stressful. It's mostly been very stressful on my mother because she's the one who is having to deal with it. Um, and anyway, so for moving out and stuff, um, I don't know why I'm doing these hand gestures. You guys, if you've been around me a while, if you've been around me a while, if you've been around my videos a while, like if you've watched my videos, you know that I talk with my hands. I need to learn sign language because, oh boy, like that would be the best thing for this. Anyway, um, so moving out. We luckily we didn't really move far because luckily, thank goodness, it is only temporary. This is not a moving situation where we're like, oh yeah, we're moving out permanently. No, which is great because it means we only had to do like 75% of what people do when they move out, um, instead of all of it, maybe even half. But anyway, where we moved to was literally two doors down at my aunt's house because thank goodness for close relatives. And that's she's geographically close, but we're also very emotionally close with my aunt because she's basically like a second parent to me and my brother. It's my mom's sister, and anyway, so she's letting us stay with her there right now. And then also we're staying here, the beach house, which you guys have seen, I'm sure, many times before, because I usually spend the summer here anyway. And my mom usually comes here and is in town and comes here and is in town every other summer anyway. But now what's happening is, instead of being either at our house or here, she's at my aunt's house or here. But the good thing about my aunt being 2 doors down is my mom is kind of right on hand to be able to go check on things, and if anybody has any questions for her, anything like that. Basically, anything that we still need to do at the house where the two of us are needed, it's great, or even just my mom. It's great because our aunt's house is right there. Our aunt, my aunt, her sister. Anyway, um, okay, so this has been a little long, and I don't know. I know this has been like a very awkward part of the video, but it's weird when it feels weird to me when I like talk about my real life on camera. Like, I'm normally just talking about books and stuff, so I didn't know how to word this. But anyway, so yeah, we were having that discussion, so that's what warranted this kind of here's what's happening with the renovation stuff. But yeah, I luckily, because I know both of these places so well and I stay at both places pretty often anyway, I don't really feel displaced or weird. The only thing that feels displaced or weird is having to get as much of my stuff out of our house as I did, because, you know, plenty of it is still there, but everything in my room had to be out, which was pretty much all of my personal stuff, because that room is, the wall between the two rooms is getting knocked down, and or is already knocked down, so we had to literally get everything of mine out of it. So that is now split between here and my aunt's house, and it's just weird because, like, some things I feel like I can't find, or some things I'm like, where did I put this one thing that's really important to me that I clearly forgot what I did with it. Things like that. Yeah, that's the renovation stuff. And okay, this is almost 8 minutes into this video, and I didn't mean to make it about personal renovation stuff, but I thought it'd be fun to talk about. Like, I thought maybe when I was talking to Mouse and Phil about this, my two friends who I was talking about it with, I know Phil watches my videos. I think Mouse just subscribed to my channel, so I hope that Mouse watches my videos. But like, that would be fun. But also, go check out Mouse's channel. I don't know if Phil has a channel, so I can't recommend Phil's channel because I don't even know if he has one. Phil, if you have one, let me know. But for Mouse's channel, please go check it out because her videos are awesome. She has like the coolest taste in things. Like, just her video content is wonderful, and she has a delightful personality, so go check out her channel. But anyway, those were the two friends who were asking me about the renovation stuff, and so I figured, since they watch my channel, I hope that I could discuss it here if anyone else was interested. So there's that. Now we're moving on to the topic this was supposed to be about, which is the June TBR. Wow, it is July. The June wrap up. Okay, so first, I don't really remember the exact order of these, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the ones that I can't show you guys because they were audiobooks, so I don't have physical copies. I do have a physical copy of one, but I can't find it, and that is Henry V, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So the first one is Convenient Marriage by Georgette Hare. This is Higher Hair. Anyway, this is the audiobook. It's the abridged audiobook narrated by the wonderful Richard Armitage, and I love it. It is the fourth time I've listened to it in a year and a half. It's very quickly for me become a comfort listen. Like, if I'm having a day where I just need something calm and something that gives me all of the emotions, and something where, you know, I just want to listen to Richard Armitage for 5 hours. That is what I go to, and it's wonderful. Like, if you like Regency romance, please listen to it. It is so good. So yeah, 5 stars as usual for that one. And then the next one was Henry V. I don't know where my Folger copy has gone. I have it somewhere around here. Like, I know it's in this house somewhere, but I don't know where that is. Like, it's probably in this room somewhere, and I can't find it. But anyway, that was a giant 5 out of 5 stars for me. I knew that it was going to be before my favorite history play was really only like the second or third of the history plays that I had read, which was Richard II. And I love it for its beautiful lyrical language. I think it's one of Shakespeare's most lyrical plays. But then I read this one and I was like, nope, this one beats it. Because it has two of the best speeches ever. It has the St. Crispin's Day speech and the I don't know the title of the other speech, but it's really really good, and I might like it better than the St. Crispin's Day speech. I don't remember the title. I wish I did. But then also my favorite scene in all of Henry V is actually not either of those. It is a scene towards the end, and I'm sorry for the spoiler, but it's history. Like it's kind of a spoiler, but it's history, so it's not really a spoiler. But um, Henry Plantagenet ended up marrying his cousin, um, Catherine, and there's a scene where he's sort of courting her, and it is the best. Oh my gosh, like the dialogue and the romantic feels in that scene. Oh my goodness. And yeah, I just realized I'm accidentally showing you guys like the part of my hand that's messed up right now, so sorry. But yeah, it is beautiful and amazing, and it was great. And the thing is, um, the version that I listened to was the Archangel production, and if I haven't recommended it to you guys, oh my gosh, this to me, if you can't see a Shakespeare play live, this is the second best option to me alongside a really good film or TV adaptation. This company does full Shakespeare radio plays, but they don't dramatize them, like they don't switch scenes or dialogue around. They don't abridge them, and they have amazing um, like all-star casts. I think David Tennant is in at least 10 of them. Um, in Henry IV parts 1 and 2 and Henry V that I just listened to, they had the father and son acting duo, Julian and Jamie Glover. I know that I've seen Jamie Glover in some stuff, but most recently I'm only thinking of hearing him in these productions. But Julian Glover was Maester Pycelle in Game of Thrones. So Julian Glover played Henry IV, and then Jamie Glover played Prince Hal, and then in Henry V, then Jamie Glover, of course, went on to play Henry V, and so just really really good casts, and I think Bill Nighy was in Henry V, but I can't remember his role. Brian Cox was in it. Yeah, just some amazing actors are in all of these, so I just very highly recommend them. So that was a giant 5 out of 5 stars for me. And then the other one that I listened to just via audiobook, I don't own a physical copy, was Leaf by Niggle by J.R.R. Tolkien. I got this maybe last month or something because it's pretty cheap on Audible, and it's narrated by Derek Jacobi, and that's really the reason. Like the fact that it's Tolkien and it's narrated by Derek Jacobi are the two reasons why I got it. And I hope I'm saying his name right. I feel like I am, but maybe I'm not. Anyway, so for this one, uh, it's really hard to explain what it's about. Um, but if you like Tolkien, I would give it a listen. Tolkien, I would give it a listen. It's definitely like a children's thing. And I gave it I want to say 4. It's confusing. I gave the story a 4, and I gave the narration a 5 because Derek Jacobi's narration is amazing. And the story was a 4 just because at some points I was slightly bored. And when you have a story that's only 40 something minutes long, if there is any point where the listener is bored, E. But it was a really, really good story, and I liked the messages in it and the characters, and it was very, it was just great because Tolkien's amazing. So there's that. And now I'm going to get into the physical books. Where am I? Okay, we're fine. Okay, so first is, there was a lot of Agatha Christie this month. First is Evil Under the Sun. This is a Hercule Poirot book. And I enjoyed this one. Like, I would say of the 4 Agatha Christie's, 4? Yeah, that I listened to / read this month, this is probably in third place, I think. I enjoyed it because I couldn't quite remember the ending, but then I think a little bit before the end, I remembered what the ending was, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I know that sounds weird, but yeah, this was a good one, and this is an intriguing one, plot wise. It's not oh gosh, it's kind of hard to explain why it's intriguing, but it's a really, really great ending. I think it's a cool twisty thing. So yeah, that's a good one. And then we have One to Buckle My Shoe, which is another Poirot, and this is the one that would probably be in fourth place of the ones that I've read. I don't know why I'm having difficulty giving these star ratings, but I am. I think, hang on, I think I probably gave, like, if I gave this one maybe 4.5, then I probably would have given this one a 4. But anyway, so One to Buckle My Shoe is another Poirot, and I loved it because it was a Poirot, and it was really, it was good, but it wasn't, it didn't grab me as much as some of them do, and ooh, also these two, weirdly enough, have sort of, they have a sort of similar something happening, but I can't really explain what, because spoilers. But yeah, I'm wondering, anybody who has read both of these, let me know if you can kind of see where I'm going with that, without like spoilers in the comments or whatever. But anyway, so these two. Liked this one a little bit better. And then my favorite of the Poirots that I read all month, this is one of my favorite Poirots that I've ever read, and that is Five Little Pigs. Lil, I finally read Five Little Pigs. I hope you're watching. But anyway, also I love this cover. I really, it's so thematic with the book because one of the main characters is a painter. So yeah, this is really pretty and I like it. And this was just so incredibly great. It's so great for, the way you get to know the characters. It's so great the way that the murder and the subsequent case is set up. The psychology of this is really, really great, which is why, I know I keep saying the word great, but the psychology of this is excellent. It is one of her more amazing, mind twisty ones, I think. It's just really, really good, and I highly recommend. And the film is also pretty amazing with David Suchet. Did I give? I I hope I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars, but I don't know. The last of the Christies is Crooked House. And I'm so glad that I finally read this. Uh, I made a mistake with this, and that was to watch the film first. Last summer, when the film came out on. No, I think it came out on Amazon maybe in 2017, but I watched it last year from the library. And what happened was I was in the middle of this, and then uh, it was about to be, the film was about to be overdue back to the library, so I had to return it because there were people ahead of me, or people who had it on hold after me, so I knew I wasn't going to get to watch it for like a year unless I watched it then. So I put the book on pause and watched the film, and then it was one of those films where you just have to sit and think about it for several months. So, yeah, didn't get to the book till now. But, yeah, so I recommend highly. If you know you're not going to read the book, then definitely watch the film. Like, if you're more of a visual story person, then definitely watch the film. It's amazing. But if you know you want to read the book, not only having not seen the film, but don't read the summary of this. Don't just go into this completely blind, if you will, because I think it would be amazing that way. And the thing is, don't get me wrong, I loved most of every minute of this book. However, this is one of the only Christies that I have, one of the very few, I think one of two Christies that I've read where I've seen the show first, or film adaptation, whatever. And so then for the whole book, I was very impatient for the characters to figure out what I already knew. Um, and also, the interesting thing about this story is that with the film, I realized what the, mm, who the person was, the whodunit. I want to say like 20 minutes into the film. But I will say that did not take away my enjoyment at all, because I was completely intrigued, flabbergasted, just whoa. So I was like, oh my gosh, yes, okay, let's keep going with this. And I loved the film, it was great. I really loved the book, but again, because of seeing the film first, I was like, all right, let's. How is no one else picking up on this? Like, I don't know. So yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. Highly recommend. And also, I'm trying to think. No, never mind. I was thinking Amelia Fox narrated this, but she didn't. It was Hugh Fraser, so I recommend the audio as well. And for star rating, I had to give it a 4.5 instead of a 5 because reading experience wise, this was pretty much a 5, but story wise, this is messed up. It is great, it is wonderful, but it's messed up. So, yeah, 4.5. Yes, read it. Okay. And then the last two that I have to talk about, If You Could See Me Now by Cecilia Ahern. She is an Irish author, and she does contemporary kind of romantic magical realism kind of things. And she was my favorite author, period, the end, when I was in high school. And now she's still one of my favorite authors. She's still she's definitely my favorite contemporary adult fiction writer, hands down. And this was a reread for me. The first time I read this, and maybe the only time I read this, was when I was 16 or 17. Completely fell head over heels in love with it. And then I just reread it for the first time. And I'd forgotten so much of it, and what I loved is that it gave me such a magical feeling all over again. And I think there are, based on being an adult now and um, having more life experience, I think there are. I picked up on certain parts of this book that were so much sadder than I realized. Like, I knew they were sad when I was in high school, but now I've just picked up on that so much more. Uh, but it's amazing. I highly, highly recommend. Um, it's great. It's wonderful. So yes, and I think I gave this a 4.5 or a 5. I may have given it a 4.5 just because nothing will ever beat P.S. I Love You for me that she's written. Um, so, yeah, there's that. And then last but not least, and I should do a full review of this on its own, but this is Last Chronicle of Barset by Anthony Trollope. This is the sixth and final book in the Barsetshire series, and I took a 18-month break between finishing Small House at Allington, the fifth book, and picking this one up a month or a month and a half ago, and that was dumb. But I loved this so much. This is probably nothing will beat Dr. Thorne for me as far as this series goes. But I think this ties with Barchester Towers, which is book 2, as my second favorite in the series. This was such a gorgeous finale, wrap up to this series, and I loved the characters. I loved being back in this place. I love the way Trollope's writing makes me feel, and this, I will say, was a much better read for me than Can You Forgive Her? As I said, the second half of Can You Forgive Her, oh wait, no, I haven't even talked about Can You Forgive Her yet because I haven't done that wrap up. I'm sorry. I read Can You Forgive Her before this, and the second half made up for the first half, but that book was a struggle for me. And this was most definitely not a struggle. It took me a long time to read it, but it was so, so amazing. And yeah, as I said, definitely second place tie with Barchester Towers, and probably 5 stars, I would say. I'm kind of thinking a little bit lower, but no, I want to say 5 stars. So yeah, this was amazing, and I just highly recommend this entire series because it is my favorite adult book series ever. It's completely wonderful. Yeah, so there's that. Okay, I think that's everything, and this is 28 minutes, so I really hope that this uploads. But anyway, I'm gonna have to put a tag on this that's like, June wrap up plus renovation real life stuff talk. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys for the next video. Hopefully I'll have enough space to record it, but yeah, thanks for watching.